Okay, so again today we'll revise the enumeration and launching process. Okay, so from the internal perspective, we are discussing the internal users are going to connect from the browser or from workspace app to the Citrix storefront. Okay, so to the storefront we are going to connect, and for the high availability of the storefront, we'll have multiple storefront servers. Even if one storefront server goes down, also the solution is highly available. Okay, so now here from the users, they are going to connect through to the storefront servers, the Citrix workspace app, or from the browser. Users are connecting to the storefront. Then storefront presents a login page or authentication page. Then user enters their credentials. Like every user will have their own domain credentials, and those domain credentials that user is going to send. Then storefront contacts the AD using the Kerberos. So now here it's going to use the Kerberos to authenticate the user. Okay, if that is successful, then user is going to log in. If that is a failure, then that message would be sent to the user, like user credentials are invalid. This kind of like a message is going to be delivered. If the credentials are success, it's going to authenticate to the AD, and those details would be sent to like a controller. Then in the resource enumeration, like the user is going to contact the, sorry, storefront is going to contact the delivery controller. After successful authentication, storefront will pass those credentials to the delivery controller. Then mostly here it would be 443 in the real time. Then for the list of resources available for that specific user. Then again, delivery controller contacts the AD for LDAP request to identify the user identity and group memberships. That means here it's going to get the SIDs of like a user and group SIDs. With that, it's going to contact the site database and stores on the SQL server to obtain those apps and desktops. Okay, so with this, what is going to happen is like it's going to contact the is going to contact the site database, and based on the SIDs is going to search what are the list of applications that user has authorized, and those list of icons would be sent to the like sorry, it's going to search for the list of like applications and desktops that user has authorized. Then that list should be sent to the storefront using the XML kind of service.
ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಹೋಗೋಣ.
Then storefront will display all those receivers like to the either browser or to the workspace app. Previously, it's a Citrix receiver. Say in the form of XML format, controller is giving to storefront, and storefront is presenting that in the form of HTML way of like users will get the icons of all those applications and desktops. Okay, so in Zenap 6, say small changes we have in the Zenap 6. So what are those changes in the Zenap 6 is, so now here maybe web interface server we have, web interface server 2. So that Zenap server we are calling now as the delivery controller. Now that Zenap server previously we called as XML broker or XML server. Then XML server will contact not the database. It used to use the localhost cache itself. Means from the localhost cache itself, if you search what is the advantages, again no need to establish a connection to the database. But now what happening is we have the storefront server. So we have the storefront server, and that storefront server is contacting controller. Storefront server is contacting the controller, and the controller is communicating with site database. Means what is the like by default behavior is, if the site database is available, controller is contacting the site database itself. If site database is down, at that moment it's communicating with the local host cache. Okay, so that is behavior. Okay, so now once it got, say suppose here it's got the user SIDs, all those, because already like controller contact the Active Directory. So at the time of authentication, storefront contacts the AD using the Kerberos kind of authentication, only for the authentication whether that user is valid or not. Okay, so then like controller contacts that controller contacts the AD again to retrieve the user uh, IDs or SIDs of the user and to which groups he belongs. Based on those SIDs, it's going to search in the site database the list of applications, how many that user has authorized. That list would be delivered to again like in the form of like controller will display those in the form of XML format to storefront. Okay, so storefront will display them to workspace app or receiver, or like maybe like we can have the browser also. Over the browser also we can get those details. Okay, so we can get those details from the browser also. We are going to get those. Okay, once user receive those details, like till this point, these steps are called as enumeration process. Then user can on demand, he can click on any of those applications. User is getting the list of icons which he has authorized. Okay, and if you have the workspace app, automatically those will come in the taskbar, shortcuts, desktop icons, all those also can be delivered. And even we can give the single sign-on kind of feature also. What is the meaning of single sign-on? Once the user log into the device, automatically those apps also are going to communicate, and even we can integrate with the multi-factor authentications also. Not only the domain credentials, you are delivering sensitive kind of data, we can give multi-factor authentications also, we can deliver. Okay, so these all we have the enumeration process. Okay, so mostly the port numbers we are using is 80 and 443. In that also 443 we are using between like a workspace app to storefront. Storefront to here this is 80 and 443 is between workspace app to storefront. Even if you use like a browser also, mostly browser to storefront app also the same thing. Then storefront to AD, Active Directory is going to use the port number 80 for the Kerberos kind of thing. It's not using LDAP protocol, it's using Kerberos protocol for the authentication purpose. Then again storefront to delivery controller is going to communicate. So this port is again it's 80 or 443. In the real time, we'll have the certificates like root certificate on the controller, and storefront also will have like that child certificate or like a client certificate would be on the storefront, and the controller will have the root certificate. Then it's going to communicate over the 443. Then controller to site database. It's a MySQL, sorry, MS SQL server. That port number is 1433. What is the port number is? 1433 is the by default MySQL default port number is the 1433. It's going to communicate. Okay. In the previous Xenap 6 controller to XML broker, say controller to XML broker, the communication is going to happen over 8080. So that uh, web interface server to XML broker, the communication is going to happen through 8080. That communication is going to happen. Okay. Yeah. Any doubts on this enumeration process? Any doubts on this?
No, no, sir.
Okay. So then user can click on that any of that applications. Then the launching is going to start. Okay, so then the user clicks on the icon of that application, whatever the application icons are there. All that, say suppose in the company we may have lot of like applications, but that user may not have authorized for those. But like authorization is decided by the controller and the site database based on the user SIDs. Like whenever we have a user is there in the Active Directory is going to provide one security ID, and even for the group also will have the security ID. While publishing the applications, we are deciding the user or group. Mostly in the real time we are publishing to the groups itself. Individual users we don't assign the applications. Mostly we are adding the users to the groups, and to the group SID wise also that applications we have is going to be delivered. So now try to understand. Say here I have a total 120 apps and 40 desktop kind of catalogs we have in my database. All that meta information or our application site details have been stored in the database we have. Okay, so then from this, like I I have like a one user ID, like my username we have like a one username I have, like based on this username, say BATSR02 at the rate like maybe some company like my domain name. So that is my username. So based on this, I'm going to get those details, and I belongs to like one project, maybe ITCM, and like maybe principal software engineers. Like this, I belongs to some groups. To those groups also, say suppose here for individual, for only for my user, I have two apps. For ITCM, I have four apps and two desktops. For principal software engineers, we are giving six apps and three desktops. Then when the user log in, out of 120 apps and 40 desktops, this user is getting, so this user is getting 12 apps and 5 desktops. That user is getting 12 apps and 5 desktops that user is getting. Okay, so those details, how is going to be authorized? How those are getting authorized? Say here, like a controller is contacting the database. Before that itself, it's got the like that user when he log in, that user details all those it got, and from that it's going to authenticate. From that it's going to authenticate. Yeah. Any doubts on this? So all the 120 apps and 40 users, if we give to everyone, there is no security for that. Okay. So in order to stop that, so the authorization is happening at the controller to site database level. Even if that site database is down also, this process will work. At that moment we are using, so at that moment we are using the
Local cache.
yeah, local host cache will comes into the picture. The local host cache comes into the picture at that moment. Okay, so then here the user will click on the application icon. Then like that the details, which of the application details is required, those details would be sent to storefront. Okay, so storefront will contact the controller. Controller will reach the SQL server to identify the most suitable VDA. So what is the VDA that need to be delivered, and delivery controller contacts that VDA also. So it's maybe a desktop VDA or server VDA. Okay, so there there are always listening connections, and a new connection will establish with the desktop VDA, because server OS already some users may be already connected also. Okay, so then VDA returns that what is the session key, all those to the controller. Then controller sends that session key containing all the information to the storefront. Then storefront will put all these information in the one file format, that's launch.ica file. It's not default.ica, it's a launch.ica file. That file contains all the information about the all the connection details. All these details have been stored in the controller. Okay, all these details have been stored in the controller details have been stored. Okay, so these all the details we are going to keep in this. All these details have been stored in the launch.ica. So launch.ica, who can understand this? Either browser or workspace app. Can you guess? Browser can't understand launch.ica. Okay, say that means if you don't have the workspace app or receiver on the client side, okay, if you connect from the browser only, that launch.ica file will only just downloads, because it's not able to understand that file. Who can understand that file is only workspace app can understand that file, and is going to establish the connection to the it's going to establish the connection to that server. It's going to be establishing that connection to the server. Is going to be connecting. Okay, so then here what is going to happen is the receiver on endpoint directly contacts the VDA. Okay, so that means it's already that launch.ica having that all the details, like on which IP it need to contact, which port number it need to contact, all those details have been stored. Then VDA notifies that controller a new request is coming. Then it contact the license server also to check using the 27,000 port, to check out the licenses. That's on behalf of the user. VDA is not contacting with the license server. Okay, who is contacting the license server?
Controller.
A controller is contacting the license server using the port number.
27,000.
Yeah, 27,000. So now here, one important point is there. So license server having three port numbers. Any idea?
27,000,
Yeah,
77,908.
27,000. Yeah, 72798082
8082,
or
8008.
8083. Okay, so 27,000 is like here. If you have the
Management
Citrix,
control.
Citrix license server is means is it's not only for Citrix like virtual apps and desktops itself. It's like for the most of the Citrix products, the same license server can be used. Means for Citrix PBS kind of thing, for Gen Center kind of things also. The we can use the same license server we can use. Okay, that means from the Citrix product servers to the license server communication is going to happen over 27,000. And if you want to administrate that license server, we have a web console kind of thing. From the web, we can console, we can administrate. That's called as license server administration console. And that's over the browser, we can use 8082. If it is already in the use, we can use other ports also from the 8082 to 8089 wise. And we want to communicate HTTPS wise that license admin console, then we need to use 8083. Okay, then here we have an important point is there. 7279 port is used for 7279 is used for
Vendor terminal.
what? Yeah, what is that meaning of vendor daemon port? So what is that meaning of vendor daemon port is? So whenever we purchase the whenever we purchase the Citrix license, okay, Citrix is going to provide one license file. Okay, Citrix is going to provide one license file, and that license file we are attaching to like a license server. Okay, say in our license server we are uploading that license file. Here one interesting point is whenever we are downloading that license file from mycitrix.com, there is a portal called mycitrix.com. From that we can download the license file. Okay, and while downloading the license file we need to provide our license server host name, we need to provide, or maybe FQDN of our license server we need to provide, and that license file is binded to that host name itself. Okay, that license file has been binded to that that host name. If I use that license file in the another domain name, sorry, another host name, okay, that doesn't work. Okay, sometimes if my license server goes down, I created a new server with the new host name. If I upload this license file, it doesn't work. Then what I need to do is, I need to submit this license file to again mycitrix.com with the new domain, with the new host name. I need to download that file. Okay, so then what is the meaning of vendor daemon is we have some set of rules in the vendor daemon, that vendor daemon is try to understand that license file, because by default what is that license file we are getting is in the encrypted format. Okay, so who is going to validate is after controller will contact the license server over 27,000. Internally, that license server is try to validate that license file and checks the availability, any licenses are available or not, and it's going to decide grant or denies of request. Okay, and even it's going to track the user device, username, device name, time, all those details are going to be happen using the vendor daemon port 7279. And if the vendor daemon port, sorry, if the vendor daemon crashes, then the checkout process is not going to happen. Okay, so now here whenever the VDA request that license, controller will verify the request. Then here we have like a vendor daemon is going to be coming into the picture. That license server manager is there. That license server manager will contact the vendor daemon. That communication is going to happen using 7279. 7279, which is going to validate the read the license, enforce the license, tracking, giving the permissions. All those are taken care by vendor daemon. What is the port we are using? 7279. So now here all this process is going to happen from the controller. Okay. So then even if the license server goes down, what is going to happen? If the license server goes down, what is going to happen?
It will go into grace period and 30 days we still
Yeah.
users
So
are able
yes.
to.
Yes. We have a 30 days grace period, and within that 30 days we can connect to the sessions. Okay. So then, like that once the license server grant, say even all these happen, if the license server not not accepted, it denies the session, then still that application at desktop can't be delivered to the users. Still that applications at desktops can't be delivered to the users. Okay. Yeah. So then again I'll explain only launch process. So now user got the list of applications and desktops icons on his like a workspace app or browser. On demand user can click on any of those applications, and once the user clicks on those applications, that like application launching is going to start. That user, what is the application he click, those details would be sent to storefront contacts the controller, controller checks with the database like to identify the most suitable VDA, and controller contacts that VDA also. So mostly all this communication except like database is going to happen in the real time with the 443 itself. If you don't have the certificate, it's going to happen using like 80. Okay. So then once we got all these requests, then it's going to communicate already server OS they have already listening connections. Desktop new connection need to be established. Okay, then all those details of the which of the VDA need to be delivered, all that, like one session key is going to contain all the connection information. Okay, that's like is given to the user also using launch.ica. Then once the user click on that launch.ica, then the connection is going to be established. Then that connection is going to be established using that launch.ica file. If you don't have that launch.ica file, then workspace app doesn't know, because in the backend we may have hundreds or thousands of VDAs with which VDA it need to connect and to which that controller has taken that decision, but given that in the form of launch.ica, then using that launch.ica, the connection is going to be happen. Okay, so that connection is going to be established between the workspace app and that VDA. It's a straightforward, a client server kind of communication, but we have lot of components in this at the enterprise level. Now it came to direct client server. Now that workspace app is going to communicate with the VDA using 1494 for the connection. Is going to be establishing the connection using the ICA. Then before delivering that app and desktop to the users, like VDA will contact the controller, Controller will validate with the license server. If the license server grants the permission, that application is going to be streamed to, that application is running on the server itself, but over the ICA, the communication is going to happen. So we'll discuss what are the ICA virtual channels and what are the advantages of ICA compared to RDP. These all we'll discuss in the next session. Like that's also like what is HDX, ICA, all those we'll discuss in the next session. Yeah, any doubts in this till now? So again, because we need to understand this for the troubleshooting wise also. These all the process we need to know where to isolate where the issue is. So again in another way I'll explain. Now here user clicks on that means enumeration is already done. Storefront requests that session host from the controller. Controller will contact even from the database, connections, all those. Then it will identify the session host and those details will be sent to storefront, that connection details. Then storefront creates the launch.ica file and sends to the workspace app. Then like a browser can't understand that, only workspace app will understand that launch.ica, and based on those details is going to establish a connection to that server using the protocol ICA. And Citrix uh, then even policies, all those also is going to be authenticated. uh, like again user authorization is not required because it's already connected. Okay, so group policies, all those are going to be loaded, and the license server comes into the picture. Then finally, we are going to deliver to these. So mostly the components we have is Citrix Workspace app, storefront or web interface, Citrix Delivery Controller, Active Directory, then SQL database, VDA, license server, Citrix license server. These all comes into the picture. Okay, so then we'll discuss what are the catalogs we have, and say suppose here very important. So what are the catalogs, delivery groups, and application delivery groups? Like this is also very important from the understanding wise, and like even from this interview wise also very important. Say suppose here we have two or three terms are there: catalogs, delivery groups, application delivery groups. Even while administrating our Citrix from the Citrix Studio also, like we have these, like we need to understand what is the meaning of missions or mission catalogs, assignments or delivery groups, application delivery groups. So those all we need to understand. Okay, so then what exactly the meaning of catalogs we'll discuss. So now, what is the meaning of catalogs? Are the collection of similar kind of missions. Say suppose those may be a physical missions, similar configurations, similar like hypervisor base or provisioning services base or cloud base. So that kind of missions, say suppose based on our requirement, so we need to design how many missions we want or how many types of catalogs we want. All that we need to design. Okay, so collection of those group of missions are called as catalogs. And first we need to choose those missions in the catalogs. Okay, so how many missions we need and how many we need to manage and need to be delivered. So those we need to choose by. So suppose assume my company want to design how many missions I want in my catalog. Okay, those details I'm going to choose. Okay, so what are the missions you want? those details we need to select in our catalogs. Okay, so we have the different type of catalogs we have. Mostly we'll create the catalogs in the real time using MCS. Okay, so using hypervisor linked to clone kind of technologies, we are going to create like MCS catalogs. Okay, so in MCS also we have different type of catalogs. Mostly like we are using MCS. The old method and in the large scale will have lot of advantages. So that's called as provisioning services. So using the provisioning services, like we are going to like use the PVS streaming kind of technologies, and from a single vdisk we are going to create multiple missions. So at the bulk level, whenever we are creating the missions, we are using either PBS or MCS. Okay, so easy is MCS, but for large scale environments, cost wise, administration wise, networking, IO, storage wise, PVS have some advantages. Then even we can create a manual catalogs also. We have the physical missions are already very long VMs. We have that's I don't want to create through MCS or PVS. I want to use them. At that moment, we are going to use manual catalogs, but we don't get much automation with this. But I want to deliver those apps itself to that users. And remote PCs also we can give. Okay, so to that on-premises desktops, I can give the remote access also. Or we can use from 7.x. MCS can create on the not only on the hypervisors, it can create on the Azure, AWS, and GCP wise also. We can create those missions. So now, like here, mostly we can create the catalogs. So similar kind of missions or desktops which we want to deliver. So assume we have 2000 users. Then we are going to decide 1000 desktops we have designed to use. Then can you guess how many catalogs I'm going to create in this use case? Okay, so I may create one catalog in this scenario. So in that catalog, I'm going to create those 1000 desktops, and that 1000 desktops I may create using MCS or PVS. Then I'm going to use another 3000 users are there. In that I'm going to use 300 VDA on server I am choosing. I'm not going to choose 1000 desktops, but how 1000 desktops can be given to 2000 users is maybe they may be coming in the shifts. All are not coming in the same shift. I'm going to use two shifts. That's the reason I'm creating only 1000 desktops. Now next I have 3000 users. Maybe in the three shifts, then I'm not going to create 1500 desktops. I'm not creating. So this is another catalog I'm going to create here. Okay, so that means this is another catalog. In that I'm going to keep 300 VDAs. I'm going to keep. That's also I may create using either MCS or PVS. I'm going to create. So like this here we are going to create those kind of catalogs. Okay, say MCS versus PVS, the two imaging techniques in the Citrix, they have their own advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so it depends upon our requirement and how many number of missions we are going to manage. We need to choose whether to go for MCS or PVS. But nowadays, 80% of the companies are using MCS. But we should have the knowledge on both MCS and PVS. We require the knowledge. Okay, so both of the two different imaging. Even we can manage the remote PCs, manual PCs also, and the cloud base also we can deliver. Either with Azure we can manage, or AWS wise, GCP wise also we can deliver. Okay, so mostly MCS uses the automatic VM level, hypervisor level, like a cloning kind of technology, linked clone kind of technology to provision those. PVS is like using the streaming technology, we are going to create those missions, or manual or remote PC, and even cloud or dash base also we can deliver. Then here in the MCS, okay, say here try to understand, we are going to use MCS here, we are going to use, if I go for the MCS, so now here we have pooled and dedicated catalogs we have. So it depends upon again our requirement. So which type of users we have, whether those users are call center employees or developers, or power task users, or task based workers, knowledge based workers. So based on these requirements, we need to choose which type of catalogs we need to choose. So mostly in the MCS, we have two types of catalogs, pooled and dedicated. Again in the pooled we have two more types, pooled static and pooled random. Okay, so first we'll discuss what is the difference between pooled and dedicated. So with the pooled, what is the like what is the like main advantages? I assume I'm a call center employee. I went to office. I work for 8 hours, and once I log off, again that all my data is going to be lost to the image state itself. My VM is getting. Next, like after my shift, another employee comes, he don't have my data, again his work from the clean state he can start, and once he log off or once he like uh, disconnect the session, again his data also is going to be clean up. Means each and every time we are going to get a clean desktop has been delivered from the company base image. But if it is a dedicated kind of desktop, every user is getting his own persistent desktop he is getting. Means the data is persistent. Each and every time the data is going to be persistent with that. Okay. So can you tell me the difference between pooled and random? Sorry, pooled and dedicated. So what is the difference between pooled and dedicated?
So the data will be
Cleared
cleared when
any changes will not be
Yeah,
saved
once
in
the user restart or like log off, all the data is going to be,
lost.
yeah, it's going to be bring to the clean image state. Okay, but with the dedicated, we don't want to do that because that user data is very important and we need to give the persistent. Mostly for the task-based workers, we are using pooled. For the knowledge-based workers, we are using
yes,
dedicated kind of things. Again, in the pooled, we have two more types. What are those?
full static and full
Pooled
Random.
static and
Full random.
pooled random. So pooled static and pooled random we have. What is that pooled static and pooled random? We'll discuss. So what is the difference between pooled random and pooled static? We'll discuss. So now, here in the, say assume I have like 1,000 desktops, sorry, 100 desktops. Okay, so here uh, 10 users are connecting. Okay, so maybe whenever the user one comes, any of the desktop is there in that pool that would be given to the user. Okay, so then randomly that desktops are going to be assigned. Say assume we have 40 missions in your lab. Say one computer lab is there. You go and choose anywhere which is available. But in the class, how it would be, say suppose like you will choose one seat and every day you want the same thing, same seat or not. Even if someone sit in that system or maybe in that seat, you will tell this is my system kind of thing. That is not possible with the pooled random. So at that time, whenever the user is connecting, controller will take the decision which is available the desktop in that pool that would be given to the user. But with the is the data is persistent? No, the data
No.
is not persistent. But with the pooled static, what is happening is, okay, for the first time, whenever the user one allocated to desktop 10 assume, that is going to be binded with the database. That is going to be binded with the in the SQL, like we have the site database, right? In that these details are storing. Even like in the subsequent login, in this previous, say assume user one got desktop 45, then after login tomorrow, user one, there is no guarantee he will get desktop like 45, there is no guarantee. At that moment which is available, that randomly he is getting that desktop. Okay, but with the pool static, for the first time, whenever the user has connected to that desktop, it's going to be stored the details also in the database, and in the subsequent logins, user will get the same desktop itself. Even the same thing happening even with the dedicated also. Then what is the difference between pooled static and the dedicated? Can you tell me?
Data will be erased
Data will be erased
in pooled static,
pool static. That means is it persistent or non-persistent?
non-persistent.
It's non-persistent. Then what is the use case for need to go for pool static?
It is dedicated to the call center people.
Yeah, what is the use case? Anyhow, data is not there, right? So there is,
Whenever he log in, I will get the same mission.
yeah. What is the purpose? Purpose. So with the pool and anyhow that's a clean desktop, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Then what is the use case of pooled static?
Maybe certain set of access is provided to that particular user, so dedicated static can be used.
Yeah. What is that? What is that? What because anyhow that is a clean from the image we got it. Okay. So then for the first time in the static, okay, I access one assume one application we have. This application, okay, so has been binded to that device MAC ID kind of things. Okay, there are some admin portals or a Salesforce kind of backend kind of things, or some banking portals. They're going to be binded with the MAC ID kind of things. Okay, if the device has been changed, again user each and every time he may need to send that OTP kind of things. All that need to be done. Okay, in this situation, you have that license mechanism also has been binded to that device itself. If you have these kind of requirements, go for pooled static. Otherwise, better to go for pooled random itself, because compared to pooled static, pooled random are the cheaper desktops. Because even in the shifts also, I can manage the less number of desktops. I can deliver to more number of users. I can deliver. Okay. Anyhow, user data is not going to be.
There.
Yeah, user data is not going to be stored there. I hope you got it right. The difference between pooled random and pooled static. Okay, so in both the use cases, the data is not at all persistent. It's going to be lost the data. Even if you want the data need to be coming from the profile kind of solutions we can provide. Even in the pooled catalogs also, we are managing the profile using UPM or maybe from the FS logics. Okay, so previously we have absence. So through that we are going to deliver. But dedicated mission is like his own desktop. And say suppose here assume we have around 400 knowledge base workers I have. For them, they want their own dedicated, they want persistent kind of missions they want. Then I'm going to choose dedicated catalogs I'm going to choose. Then at that moment in my catalogs, I need to choose 400, I need to choose. Okay, even with the pooled static also, if I have 3000 employees, I need to create 3000 employees. But with the pooled random, if I have three shifts, like maybe I have 3000 employees are there, I may create around 1200 missions, maybe 200 I'm keeping as a buffer kind of thing. Means I'm creating for 3000 users, how many missions I'm creating?
1200.
1200 or like maybe 1300, depends upon your requirement, you can choose. So where that 1200 and 3000 backend hypervisor we are using to create those missions, then that hardware cost we have reduced or not? Because
Yes,
almost
reduce.
the 2 times, 3 times we required infrastructure cost also. Okay, so that's also can be reduced by a pooled random kind of thing. The cheapest desktop, on the Citrix wise, is pooled random, and even from the server OS we can deliver intelligently with the very limited centralized resources. We are accommodating VDA to some thousands of people. That gives administration wise a lot of control, lot of security, lot of remote support options available to the enterprise. Whereas physically maintaining all those is very expensive kind of thing. I don't call that as impossible kind of thing, but it's a huge expensive kind of thing. Maybe in the India, as the manpower desktop support engine is cheaper price, it's maybe feasible. But in the US or in other countries, that's not at all feasible. That's the reason they're very familiar to use Citrix products. Okay, so in the small scale, like maybe less than 50 users or 100 users, easily we can manage manually. But where we have some hundreds or thousands of users, at that large scale enterprise level, more than 10,000 users or 1 lakh users also, Citrix is already very proven solution. Okay, so in the same way, even through the PBS also we can deliver those desktops. Okay, so then even manually we can give, or remote PCs we can give, or cloud based also we can provision. Okay, so here pool random, users get a desktop randomly from the pool each time they log in, and the controller will take the decision based on the usage of that, is going to check from the database and which is available, that's going to get the same thing. Then after reboot or log off, the VM reset to the master image, or we'll call that as the golden template. Okay, no settings, no customizations are allowed on the client side. Even if that sets, once the user log off or reboot, the data is going to be lost. And definitely the user data of that, we are going to store it from the user profiles we are going to store. All the data we are going to say, even if any new desktop comes also, the data is coming from the user profile. So mostly for the task-based workers, call centers, lab, training environments, this would be the best one. In the pooled static, we have anyhow, it's the same VM, but the data is going to be lost. Okay, so but the main purpose is my applications have binded to that system IDs or MAC IDs. Okay, anyhow, there is no guarantee we'll get the same IP. That IP may be dynamic kind of thing. Okay, but based on the system ID, somehow MAC ID, our licenses have been binded to that device itself, to that specific user. There are some softwares like that. Even sometimes if you log into the banking portals also, if that device is changed, then it's maybe that's going to be binded for that specific device only. Otherwise, it may ask you for multi-factor authentication like that. I don't know, each and every time, everyday user don't like want to do that kind of things. Other specific requirement will go for pool static. Otherwise, most of the cases users are using pooled random or dedicated kind of desktops itself. Okay, so dedicated is simple, like it's our own personal kind of desktops. It's our own personal kind of desktops. It's a permanent kind of assignment. Okay, so that's not assigned to any other users. Okay, all changes are stored, even if the device reboot, update happens also, the data is going to be persistent. Okay, so then like a storage, it takes more compared to pooled one. Okay, and compared to streaming also, but mostly this would be useful for the task-based, sorry, knowledge-based workers, developers, or power users, and they want to install their own applications. Their data need to be persistent. Then we are going to keep. So it depends upon the users. You choose different type of catalogs. Okay, so that is the reason we have the different type of catalogs we have. And that catalogs also can be created either through MCS or PVS or cloud-based or remote PCs, or manually also we can provision. Okay, so then what is the meaning of catalog is? A catalog is a collection of missions, and those can be created and maintained in the Citrix Studio. And once we create the catalogs, those can be assigned to the users. That user entitlement is going to happen through like that delivery groups we have. So it depends upon that requirement. We are going to assign them to the users by the delivery groups. Okay, so then the delivery groups, like from the catalog, one or more catalogs, and assign them to the users. Like to which users, say suppose assume in this use case itself, I have created 1500 like missions I have in my catalog. Then from the management wise, I would be getting the request, or from the project management teams also, I would be getting the request. Say hi, here, say suppose here assume we have an HR manager. HR manager requested 200 missions to like that, to the higher management. They want 200, like HRs are onboarding. They want 200 missions. Then they give an approval for 150 missions they have given. Okay, then we will get a request to create a delivery group, because already how many missions we have in the catalog? 1500 missions.
1500 missions.
Out of that, I'm going to create a catalog for HR catalog. I'm creating, sorry, maybe HR, not catalog, delivery group I'm creating, and I'm going to choose this from the catalog 1500. I'm choosing 150. I'm choosing, and I'm assigning that to HR groups. So already in the AD, I may create one Active Directory group for HR. All these 150 employees or 200 employees or maybe 300 employees also, I'm keeping on that group, and I'm assigning those. Then how many missions are available in my catalog?
1350.
1350. Then again, sales guys came and they want almost 400 desktops they have requested, and the company accepted 300 desktops. That manager may ask more desktops also, but management has accepted 300 missions. Okay, then again I'm going to create from one more delivery group. Okay, so now here we are calling this as a sales delivery group, and I'm allocating 300 missions. Then around 1050 catalogs are available to me. Okay, says 1050 catalogs are available to me. Then we have like maybe another department also we have, like these all the like call center support employees. said for them, we want around 800 missions they requested. Around 750 has been accepted here. Okay, so then out of 1050, I'm going to create one more delivery group with the 750 desktops from the same catalog and assign those users and groups. Then how many are available? 300. Then like maybe we have like a tech support team. For the tech support team, they have requested 600 and company accepted only 500. Then is it possible to give 500 desktops? Is it possible to give them those 500 desktops or not? In the catalog, how many available?
300 available.
300. But the new request came for
500.
500. Then we need to
Yes.
tell we don't have the enough catalogs, and we don't have enough missions in the catalogs. Then one solution is we can create a new catalog or add more missions to existing catalog itself. Okay, then I'm going to add another, like I got a new approval for 500 missions. I can create a new catalog or add to
Existing catalog.
existing catalog. I'm going to select those 500 missions I have chosen to that existing catalog. I'm going to select. Okay, so I have added those 500 missions. Then total how many missions are available is 800 missions are available. Out of that, I have given those like to the tech support delivery group. I'm adding those. Sorry, 500 I'm adding. 500 I'm adding. Even still I have 300. I may be waiting for the new request also. Depends upon my business. I'm going to entitle them to the users like missions, and user entitlement is going to be decided by delivery groups to whom we need to assign that entitlements are decided by delivery groups. Okay, so who need to get the access and what they can do, all these we can give. It's not only the desktops, even the apps also we can give. So in this example, they took the 1000 catalogs, VM catalog. In this, they want to give to 50 finance users, they want to give. Okay, and some apps also they want to deliver to the HR. Not for every group. I don't want to give the desktops itself. Even we can give the publishing of apps also we can give. This all depends upon the user requirement. Like architect will design. According to that, we would be getting the request and we need to publish them. Okay, so now the catalogs are the collection of missions are called as catalogs, and those user assignments, entitlements of desktops or apps to the users, we are calling as delivery groups. Okay, and here like we can from the catalogs, if it is available only we can give to the delivery groups. Otherwise, we need to create a new catalog or add the missions to that existing catalogs. That again required more infrastructure is required. Infrastructure means more hardware, more CPUs, storage, networking, all that are required. Okay, so user entitlement or assignment we are not doing from the catalogs. We are doing it from delivery group. While creating the catalogs, we are choosing which type of catalog we want, which type of provisioning we want. Okay, whether we want persistency or not, we are going to design. But in the delivery groups, we are going to choose the what are the policies we can choose, which type of apps, desktops, scheduling, these settings, all power status, all these we can maintain. Now here, some questions they will ask, try to understand. Can we create delivery groups from multiple catalogs. Means one delivery. Say suppose I have two catalogs I have. Can I create one delivery group from the multiple catalogs or not? Okay, so now I have like 40 missions are available in one catalog. Okay, 60 missions are available in one catalog. Then total I want to choose 100 missions. Okay, but all the 100 missions are not available from one catalog. Okay, is it possible to create or not?
Yes, we can create.
Yes, it's possible to create delivery groups from multiple catalogs. Okay, one mission is it possible to keep in multiple delivery groups?
No.
No, it's not possible because already we given to HR people means again if I give to sales people that laptop assume we have 100 laptop.
Conflict will have.
Okay, so it's not possible, right? That's the reason one mission can't be resided in the multiple delivery groups, but delivery groups can be created from
Different machine.
the multiple catalogs we can create. From the multiple catalogs, we can create them. So now here mission catalogs are collection of virtual missions or physical missions, which type we want. Okay, so that's like we are going to maintain as a single entity. Okay, so we can add the missions or we can remove the missions also, depends upon our requirement. Okay, so then here we can choose either single session OS, multi-session OS, which type of provisioning, all that we are going to choose. Okay, so already we discussed a catalog is a pool of missions. Okay, then each delivery group. So in this delivery group 1, finance users 50. Okay, so now here they have 100 is there. And delivery group we have assigned 30. Delivery group they have assigned 20 missions. Okay, so that's we are going to decide to 3 different type of groups we are giving from the same catalog. Okay, but at any point of time, a single mission can only belongs to one delivery group at a time. Okay, so but one catalog can feed multiple delivery groups, and even delivery group can be created even from the multiple catalogs also. From the multiple catalogs also, we can create. Okay, so here the collection of missions user entitlement wise is called as delivery group. Similar kind of creation wise, those are called as catalogs. So then, like even in the newer versions, we have the application delivery groups also. Say in the delivery groups, we can give both desktops plus apps we can give. But in the application delivery groups, we are going to assign only the different set of apps can be entitled to the users. And those app specific settings and those policies also we can apply. Okay, so that means in the delivery groups we can give both. We can give either at the desktop level we can give, or at the applications also we can publish. But in the newer method, I don't want to deliver the desktops. Only apps also can be assigned to the users by creating application delivery groups. Okay, say we can choose either delivery groups is there or application delivery groups also we have. So in the delivery group, we are giving both the missions or desktops we are giving. Then apps also we are giving with the entitlements, but only the apps we can group by application delivery groups. Okay, so which of the HR related apps all will give to HR users, finance users, like this we can give from the application delivery groups also. Okay. So this is also very, very important from the interview wise. The catalogs, enumeration process, delivery groups. Okay. Then architecture components, all the components, what is their use case, port numbers. Okay. So these all everyone should able to explain. Then on top of that, we need to prepare some daily activities, roles and responsibilities. Then like major issues what we have faced. Say mostly 80% of our interview questions are these itself. If you prepare a small role play and some questions, if you scenario based, if you write down these issues we got, very easily we can address in the interview wise also. Okay. Yeah. Any doubts on this part? Any doubts?
Basically, in the VDA, you do have a hosted shared instances. Right, Shrikant?
Which one?
Server based. HSD is hosted shared
That is
instance.
nothing but a server desktop system.
Yeah.
So that's either single session OS or multi, that depends upon the VDA we are going to get it.
Yeah.
So again, in that also we can give like a pool random or pool static we can give. The hosted shared also. Sorry,
Yeah.
static is not possible. It will be shared itself.
Yes.
So while publishing these mission catalogs, we'll get all these options. Depends upon our user requirements. We need to choose which type of catalog we require. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Shrikant.
Yeah. Any other doubts?
Like that ISO files, we
Yeah.
want to come to institute and
No, no,
collect
no,
the
no.
files.
I'll share in the WeTransfer. I'll share.
Okay.
Okay. So mostly uh, one or two classes I required. After that, we'll start the lab.
Okay.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Sure.
And ADC, from when we are starting the ADC's concepts?
It is after this basic
Lab and all.
policies, all those will
Okay. Okay.
policies, printing,
Okay.
then we'll go for ADs.
Okay.
Okay.